put it on psychedelic purple for the background here.
Well done.
There you go.
No idea if we're live yet. So we're live. We're live for 11 seconds.
Drop some acid.
Yeah, I'm just getting into this whole color thing, man. It's a lot of fun. All right. So it looks like we are live. Yeah. I'm not sure. Guess I could always go to the link and see. But I'm assuming we're live because we're definitely live because people are just flooding in here by the droves.
Droves.
All right. So hello, everyone. Yeah, droves, man. Tons of people, right? We're going to hit at least 10,000 tonight. So as you guys can see, it is the Three Guys Gun Chat tonight. Back to you. We're going a little retro. This is like retro 1970. But, we're all in the same, not room, but on the same internet access point. So good evening, gentlemen. Big Johnson and KS Gun Guy. How are you both?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm great. What about you, KS?
I'm doing all right, man. Thanks.
So, I mean, looking at all three of our screens, I'm noticing I'm getting very colorful with my life. Big Johnson's getting very Texas patriotic, but needs to definitely paint that room a color. And KS has got that orangey mustard color going. So it's awesome, 3 different personalities. It's great. So, today we're going to talk about a bunch of things, probably mostly gun related. I'm sure there's other things they'd want to bring up. So let's just do a quick roll call here. We got Double B, Big Al, No Name, Art, Frank, Kathleen Music Lover. I think that might be it. Double B, I said Mika or Misa, whatever. IBG, Philip Harper. I don't recognize that name. Nick Knox. And that's all I got. So if I missed anybody, Captain Phil just popped in. Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to our chat. So why don't we start with something that I think everybody is facing. I had an interesting conversation with my local gun shop because I'm looking for 9mm. It is as rare can get, at least in my neck of the woods here. I don't know how you guys are faring. So I was able to get my hands on 4 boxes of S&B. It cost me $63. So I guess it's a little bit of a price markup, maybe about $6-7 than I'm normally used to paying. But it was like him giving over gold bars to me when I bought them because you can't find it, and the shit you're finding is usually the cheapest crap you can find. So just out of curiosity, what is the ammo situation in your parts of the world, sirs?
I have
anybody want to answer that?
I've seen it going for like $30 a box, $28 a box.
So now is that at local stores just for target ammo?
Yes. Yep. Not every store. There's some places that have it for like 25, but it's averaging about 25 to I've seen it for $35, and that's target ammo, not defensive.
Man, that's crazy. So target ammo is real scarce around here. You can still find self-defense ammo. Not always, but oftentimes if you hit places at the right time and after a shipment. And I'm seeing boxes of 50 Federal HST, that sort of thing, going for about $46, $47, somewhere around there. So that's kind of expensive, but hollow points are more expensive in general anyway. I mean, it used to be that a box of whatever 2025 was going for $20, $22, $23. So that's not terribly out of line. But target ammo, extremely difficult to find. However, if you hit the right place at the right time after a delivery, you can get ammo relatively inexpensive. And most of the ranges have ammo in stock. If you're going to be on the range, it's pretty limited. But you can at least put a couple of rounds downrange or put a few downrange and squirrel a few away, or, however you need to do it. So ammo's, it's hard to find.
Now, are they putting limitations on how many boxes you can buy at once?
Yes. I mean, I can certainly speak for Centerfire. I mean, it's one box per person at a time. And that, and it's terrible, but it's the only way to allow for all shooters who come in to have a little bit of ammo. As is, you still generally run through more than what you get in a week. So, it's hard.
Yeah, we're limited to 2 boxes, which isn't much better than 1, but it's an extra 50 rounds. So I've started to wonder, I know, I had the conversation with the man who owned the store, obviously, and we were kind of talking back and forth about what's the deal with the ammo situation. He's a little bit more convinced that this is just because of the extreme amount of demand that's out there. Not to mention the record number of people who have gone out and applied for firearm licenses or buying rifles and stuff. And I can understand that for shotgun shells, maybe some rifles, those types of calibers, that type of stuff. But, for me in New York, it's a little different because you have to have a license in order to get a handgun. And that process takes about a year to do. So to see the amount of shortages that are going on for handgun ammo, to me is a little bit odd. I don't think we should be seeing it as much as we are here in the Northeast, at least. I mean, I could be totally wrong, but we've seen it across the board in everything. And I like I said, I can understand shotgun shells and ammo for rifles, but not so much for the handguns. So are you guys seeing anything particular that is still in abundance in your areas in regards to ammunition?
I mean, it's a shortage on the primers is what it is. Small primers. That's one of the big issues. But I mean, we've got like a lot of 10 millimeter. I'm seeing tons of 308. I know that's a rifle caliber, but 357 and a lot of 10 millimeter. That's what I'm seeing dominantly in my area.
It's a mixed bag here. It depends on where you go. You might find more or less of something. I mean, I'm seeing a fair amount of shotgun shells around here. That doesn't seem to be too scarce unless you get into defensive stuff. But hunting stuff, not quite so bad. 308 is non-existent. 300 blackouts, non-existent. Obviously, all the common calibers, although 45 seems to be hanging in there. We haven't seen the run on that we have on some of the other calibers. It's one of the reasons why I've picked up a couple of 45s lately, just to kind of spread things around, diversify a little bit. But yeah, it's a mixed bag.
And what's kind of interesting also is, we're entering hunting season around here very soon in New York State. And with such shortages on ammunition, I can only imagine how that's going to trickle down into the hunting world, especially, and it's kind of a mixed thing too, because a lot of times we don't think necessarily of other people except for people who go to ranges and shoot and that kind of stuff. But there's a lot of people around my neck of the woods here, especially in the rural areas of New York, where they rely on the deer season to feed their families for the winter, So it's kind of interesting to see how this shortage isn't just affecting shooters, casual shooters, competition shooters, but also hunters who are relying on the meat that they're going to be bagging here in a couple of weeks, So I wonder if anybody out there in the audience there is experiencing that feeling of how am I going to get through this winter if I'm relying on, game as opposed to steaks from, the local ShopRite or something,
Well, think about more obscure hunting rounds, because right now a lot of the ammo companies are really trying to concentrate on the popular stuff, right? The 5.56, 223, 9 millimeter, things like that, and probably not paying as much attention to some of the more obscure or just less popular hunting rounds.
Right.
Yeah, and I've seen a couple of people say they're having problems getting 308, and I'm not joking around. In Texas, I'm seeing tons of 308. So, but it's been around forever. And also I'm seeing tons and tons of 7.62 by 39. So,
yeah, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that in months.
No, we've got tons.
Everything is gone. I can't even find 30-30 right now, which is very odd.
Yeah,
because just a few weeks ago it was in abundance, and now it's completely gone. So. It's getting a little.
I wonder if since people can't find and buy, whether to use or to hoard the common rounds, I wonder if when people find other ammo, they get excited. Ooh, it's ammo! I should buy that. It's going to be gone and it's going to be worth gold, and so I'll just buy that. Whether it actually turns out to be worth as much as they think it will, who knows?
Yeah, no, I've already asked a couple of people. I'm like, wow, you have all those guns? And they're like, no, I'm just buying the ammo because it's here. So they're probably going to resell it, or like you said, stock it up. And then if it gets real bad, they're going to,
So really quick, Anthony Lamastro donated for the ammo fund. He can't find any. So, we're just going to hold that $5 until we actually strike it rich with ammunition. Because right now it's not going to go anywhere.
If we find a 50 round box, we'll send you 2 rounds.
Yeah. I went to the, obviously I went to the range to shoot that Archon, and that'll kind of transition to the next part of what we're going to talk about. And every damn time I pulled that trigger, and I think I mentioned in the video, I was saying, shit, there's another round down range. Shit, there's another round down range. So I shot 250 rounds. I was able to replenish 100 of those, but I'm still 150 in the hole. And I'm starting to get a little concerned. I'm not going to lie, very concerned, because my target ammo is depleting. I mean, it's almost all gone. So I'm freaking out about that, because I'm not going to shoot self-defense ammo. I'm not going to do it.
No.
It's just not worth it, and I'm trying to be deliberate with what I'm shooting. I did a 1911 the same day. I can tell you right now, I did not shoot over 125 rounds, because anything over that is going to put me kind of in a red zone, and I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
So I know, Big Johnson, you have your STI, your $42,000 handgun that you have, and it's very impressive gun. I was looking at those too, and then I saw the price. I was like, nope. And so then I went and got that Archon, and I said in the video, and I'm going to say it here, and I want to hear what your guys' opinion is on it. Maybe, Big Johnson, you'll have one, because I don't think did you shoot any? Have you shot any of them yet?
I haven't shot the Archon. I've dry fired it, but I haven't shot the Archon.
Okay. And I know, Cass, you did, but I am claiming, whether it's right or wrong, that it is the best striker fired handgun that has been produced in probably the past 10 years. And it's for a lot of different reasons. I mean, the design of it is very good. The trigger is not great, but it breaks in very nicely. I will tell you that the trigger out of box versus the trigger after shooting it, two different triggers. It's much smoother, much nicer. The actual, what's the word I'm looking for? The actual recoil, I don't really know if there is recoil per se, and it just feels like it drives into your wrist, which is interesting, because as long as you lock your wrist, you have good control over the firearm. So I think it is definitely the best striker fired firearm that I've ever shot. And I mean, you guys and myself, we probably have shot just about every single striker fired handgun in the world. I mean, when you think about it. But to me, that one just won. And I've yet to find one that is as good as what that gun can do. Now, it may break. Somebody contacted me through Instagram saying there's broke, and it's broken 4 different times on 5 different guns. Wow. So I hope that doesn't happen. If this is a gun that can be shot and maintain itself, it's the winner in all categories, in my opinion.
I will say this. I haven't shot the Archon B, but I have shot the original Strike One, the bigger one, and it's freaking awesome. I mean, it is awesome. So, for what that's worth. But I think if they came out, and I know that there's a couple of people that are, milling it for optics, but I think if it was optic ready, it would definitely be one of the top guns. I mean, I'm really impressed with just even dry firing it, the grip, just the way that it's set up. But will it stay the course, or will they fade away? The company as a whole, I don't know, but it is a nice gun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What were you going to say?
I'm just reading some of the comments. So everybody's making fun of me, saying it's the best gun in the world till I sell it next month. That's not going to happen with this one, because there's certain guns that don't get sold, and this is that gun. I mean, it's just, and somebody said something about the hype of the gun. Yeah, it was hyped up. There's no doubt about it. Like the stupid little thing in the back that makes your grip amazing gripping of a hand. It's bullshit. I'm going to tell you right now. But at the same time, the gun did a lot of the things that you'd be looking for out of a box, right? And really, price wise, you're getting 4 mags. You're getting really just a complete pistol for an expensive price. But I just think it's really good. I just think it's really that good. Now, if I can get myself an M9A2 from Steyr one of these days, that would be great, because I think that would be more of an appropriate comparison, because there's nothing even close to it right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree with that. So it's always hard to say, best or anything, and I kind of steer away from that. But you know how I feel about the Archon. I absolutely love it. And I have an Arsenal Strike One now as well. I picked that up maybe a month ago, something like that. It's all tan. It's the weirdest looking gun, but a delightful shooter. I think the Type B took what the Strike One did, and they improved it in basically every way. The strike one's bigger and kind of gangly. The trigger's not as good, but it still has that basic foundation shooting characteristic that makes the Archon so good. I mean, that's a forever gun. It'll never go away. Absolutely love it. I'm saying it's the best. I don't know. Maybe it's certainly among the top that I've experienced ever out of strikers. I don't know if I would necessarily say the best because I'm not. I don't know.
But what do you think it doesn't do better than everything else? There's nothing you have to do out of the box to that gun at all when you think about it. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
I would say a gun that's on equal base, but not kind of the same design is that MR920. That's a fantastic handgun as well. That does everything right. And there's nothing you need to do that gun either. So when you look at those two, even though they're not necessarily identical comparison type handguns, those are two, in my opinion, like you said, is it the best? I think the Archon beats it in a couple of things, but I think it's as good as the Archon.
Yeah. No, it's definitely very good. I mean, I don't know that you guys haven't probably played with this one, but the ZevTech Hypercomp, it's one of the OZ9s. That's pretty bananas as well. It's a very good gun, but out of the box, the Archon, like you said, it ticks all the boxes. It does everything that it needs to do. I think for the money, it's a value. As you said, 4 magazines. It's got the nice bag and the oils and the pen and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, it kind of gives you a little bit of everything. So I think it's a fantastic one, and I recommend anybody give one a try.
Yeah,
I would say two things that the Shadow system offers over it that's available for the Shadow system is a threaded barrel and the milling on the top. So, if you're really like taking it out of the box or what are their offerings?
Sure.
The Shadow system does offer a couple of more things if you want those. If you don't, it is what it is. But I would say out of the box, you have more offerings elsewhere. But like I said, I think it's a great gun. I do like the Strike One, since KS, I forgot that he had one. I wish the Archon B, and just for me, I wish it had a little longer grip, just a little longer. But for 99% of the people, that's not going to matter.
Sure.
That's probably why I prefer the Strike One, is just the longer grip. And, but they're, like I said, they're both great guns.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see them maybe eventually offer, which I don't think it's ever going to happen. It could be, like you said, a company that goes in and out of productivity, so to speak. But it would be interesting to see them offer like a compactish type of, type B. Maybe make it a type C for type compact or something.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So everybody's busting my chops about this gun, that gun. Look, there are certain guns. You're right. I've said they've been great in the past. The PPQ is a great gun. It's a great gun. But what happens is, and as most gun owners probably can attest to this, as you get introduced to new firearms, your tastes and your preferences begin to evolve as to what you want. So like for me, the PPQ is a great handgun. It's still a wonderful handgun. But then you compare it to guns that ride lower in your hand, that have a little bit more controllability. So you begin to evolve as a gun owner. And if you're not evolving as a gun owner, well, then that's on you. But I'd tell you, PPQs are still a great gun. Do I think there are things that need to be improved on this gun? Yeah, absolutely. I think it sits too high in your hand. It is a kind of a chunky gun in regards to its slide. So yeah, that's great. But at the same time, you're allowed to evolve your tastes. And unfortunately, sometimes when you evolve those tastes, it comes with a price tag increase. Glocks, I have tons of Glocks. I've had tons of Glocks throughout my whole history of shooting. And over time, I've evolved away from Glock. And yes, keep going back to Glock, but that's because they change certain characteristics that work better for me. You get away from finger grooves to no finger grooves. It still sits low in the hand. But does Glock have room to improve? Of course they do. So as a gun owner, yes, I may say 3 years earlier, this is the best gun ever. 3 years later, my gun tastes have evolved. What I look for a gun now is not what I looked for in a gun 3 years ago. It's just not the same thing. So it's really apples and oranges now.
Well, and I think we also have to take into account just the times. Every year new offerings come out throughout the year or at SHOT Show, whatever it is. And, you find something that you just absolutely love. So right now, my favorite gun is XYZ, or I love this and I love it for these reasons. In a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it is, there could be things that come out that tick all those boxes and so much more. And so, you just kind of evolve, like you said. and the times change, and your tastes change too. I mean, right now I'm kind of nerding out over 1911s. 6 months ago, I wasn't really thinking about them at all. So
Right.
things change.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and kind of even with myself, that you bring up 1911s, I was a 1911 guy way back. Tried the striker fire, double action, did all that, and I'm kind of rolling back into the 1911, 2011s. It's just, sometimes you can make a full circle, sometimes you can do a 90 degree, a 180. That's a good thing that there's so many different offerings out there, and if you have different ones in your collection, you can, 1 month or 2 months try these, and you can go back and forth. I don't think there's a wrong or a right answer for what someone should get. It's just, whatever floats your boat, so to say, whatever you enjoy at that particular time or that quarter of the year or whatever.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people bringing up like the M&Ps and stuff. M&P is a fantastic gun. 2.0s are the best iteration of the M&P, in my opinion, in regards to what you're going to use it for, the way it carries and everything else. But again, I love the gun. It was my main carry gun for about a year and a half. And once I got that MR920, I started saying to myself, the M&P is really good, but that 920 is even better because it adds more to the pocket, or to the pot, I guess you could say. And more importantly, the one thing that was always the benefit of the M&P, and that was the texture, really became the noose, so to speak, around the M&P, because it's a great gun. Yes, you don't ever have to worry about that slipping, but it's I don't know about you guys, but when I was carrying that gun, that damn handle would stick to everything because of the texturing of that handgun. So yeah, you can put Talon grips on it, but then it loses the reason why you got that gun in the first place, and that's that ultra aggressive grip. So then you say, okay, what is out there right now currently that's as good, if not better, with good texture, but not overly aggressive texture where it's rubbing you raw. And so when the 920 came into my hands, that has now replaced the M&P, and my 920 is my main carry gun right now. And it's great. It's lightweight, it fits well, and it does what it needs to do.
It's probably because of your young, supple skin, but as you get
definitely,
older, as you get older, you get kind of calloused up. So I prefer super, super aggressive. If I could get super aggressive grips on everything, that's what I would want. But and I will say this, with a good gun belt, a good holster, your gun should not be chafing back and forth. It should be locked in one position, and that's where it is. So that's kind of the way I look at it.
It's not even necessarily your gun moving back and forth. It's your chub that's moving back and forth on the gun,
that too. But I mean, there's times where, I'll drive for a long time. I'll get out, walk around for a long time. I mean, it's just on me. And, it can be the super aggressive or not that aggressive. And I don't really find one that chews me up,
Right. Yep. And I got another Shield 2.0 with the Optigon. I haven't even shot it yet, but when I start carrying that gun, I'll probably try to take a little bit of sandpaper, like a light grit of sandpaper, and just maybe sand it down a little bit. But that's why I said, like for me, I moved away from the M&P 2.0, but I couldn't completely move away from the Smith & Wesson line because I just like them that much. So the 2.0 or the Shield is going to be that carry gun for the days where I don't want to carry a bigger, thicker gun like a 920.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there's always, and you guys would understand this, and everybody should, if they have multiple handguns, there's always a reason why you carry what you carry. You don't want to carry something that's going to make you so uncomfortable that you don't want to carry it anymore. So depending on, time of the year, if you put on some weight, lost some weight, all those things are part of it. So yes, I know we like to say everything is consistent all the time, and that's why you have this particular firearm for so long. But over time, you change. Your body changes. Your lifestyle changes. Your taste changes, and you got to kind of change with that, or you're going to stop carrying. Yeah. And so I think it's a lot of times when we get this tunnel vision of you only got to have one gun and only one gun dedicated for this particular thing. I don't know if that's necessarily practical because there's nothing static in the world. Everything keeps changing.
Yeah. True.
Yep. I think it's to each their own and whatever they like. I know guys that just carry the same gun every single day and they have for years and years and years. And if that's what they feel comfortable with it, do it. But I do like to rotate periodically, not all the time, but I have, 4 or 5 that I'll rotate through pretty consistently.
I've sort of gotten away from that a little bit. I've sort of narrowed it down to the 43X and the 48. So it's the exact same platform, same stuff, same feel, same magazines, the whole 9 yards. But I like them both and like them for different reasons. The 48, I'll actually do outside the waistband when I'm working in certain situations. It's just more comfortable. I've got clothes that support that, and then 43X when I want inside the waistband, a little bit more stealthy, if you will, and it does just fine. So those work, and I don't feel the need to rotate anything else in and out at this time.
Yeah.
So Kathleen and I do. I have matching booties for my my pistols with whatever I'm wearing. So I have denim booties. I've got khaki booties. You name it. So whenever I go out, guns got to match my pants. So
He just has booty.
yeah, booty, lots of booty. So yeah, that's interesting too. You know, like I've kind of gotten away from a huge rotation of guns too. I mean, for me, like I said, it was the M&P. I just was carrying the crap out of that gun, and now it's at 920. And right now, I got a Glock 48 coming in, so I'll probably switch to that, and also the Shield at some point. Just get a little bit slimmer feel of the handguns. You know, because after a while, you like I said, you got kind of, I don't know, man. I get kind of tired of carrying a heavier gun sometimes. So it's not bad to swap out. You know, you just got to try to be consistent with what you're using, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. So I hear your boy got a raise.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's such a dickhead. So Andrew Cuomo, King Cuomo, up here, aside from telling people they couldn't have Thanksgiving dinner with anybody for more than 10 people, or you'd be fined. No idea how they're going to enforce that yet. You know, he's supposed to be getting a $25,000 raise. So today he came out, of course, and said he was not going to accept the raise, and he was going to ask all other elected officials to forego their raises for this year. You know, he's talking about closing down things again. The numbers seem to be going up in my area here in the Hudson Valley. New York City schools apparently are closing again. So whether it's right, whether it's wrong, whether it's real, whether it's fake, you know what? Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the answers. I'm not going to pretend that anything I'm going to say is wiser than anybody else. I know that, you know, looking at it from a parent's perspective, because I have 2 children, I can tell you that my kids are thank God they're good kids. Thank God they have parents who help them with their homework every night. But I could not imagine how kids are functioning in this environment, and people are not understanding the effect that it's having on them long term. And that's kids. And it's also hurting adults. But my kids are, you know, my son is a straight A student. My daughter's a straight A student right now. They got their first report cards for the first part of the year, and they did really well. But you also see the struggle, the emotional struggle, the psychological struggle, the lack of social settings, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it fucking sucks, man. It breaks your heart as a parent, because, you know, when we were growing up, shit, we were playing out in the dirt, having dirt ball fights and everything else. Nowadays, you can't even go to a restaurant and apparently not worry about stuff. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't think there's a right answer or a wrong answer to this at any time.
And you know, for the 8 to 10 people at your home, okay, you can only have 8 to 10 people at your home for Thanksgiving, and I put this up on Instagram. It's a deal I put together, but you can only have 8 to 10 people. However, you can get on a public transportation of some sort, subway, bus, whatever, with 60 plus people, and that's okay. I mean,
Right.
that's ignorant. And then taking a $25,000 raise when your state is $14 billion in the hole, you know, that's ridiculous. And he said he's not going to take it. Who knows if he will or not, but I mean, behind the scenes. But, you know, and I'm glad that Greg Abbott, our governor, came out and said, I'm not shutting down Texas. We're not going through that again. So, you know, he's basically standing his ground, which I'm glad for, saying no more lockdowns for Texas. And he publicly said it today. So I'm really, really glad. I know El Paso tried to shut down. The judge there was wanting it shut down, and they overrode him and said no, you know. And the way that we've said it before, if you're sick or you're in that, you know, where you could, you know, you're susceptible to this, okay, you wear a mask, you stay home, you do what you need to do.
Sure.
But don't penalize the non-sick people. I mean, that's like a freaking concentration camp. You know, you go in the pen. It's like, what the hell, you know? I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see more and more of that, where people are just going to say, nope, not playing this game anymore. If I get sick, I get sick. I'm not going to be a shut-in.
Yeah, and it's 99.3%, rate now where you're
it's
okay.
very, very low rate of death and stuff.
So it's like, okay, it's a really strong flu. Now they've got better medications that can take care of it. And, I already know personally 3 people that have had it. They did get sick. Like three days later, they were feeling better because they took the medication and, they went through it just fine. And they're actually older.
That's the interesting part too, is that, I know people who have been tested positive and completely asymptomatic, no symptoms at all. They're back and ready to go in 2 weeks.
That's
but
why
I do know
our testing, that's why the numbers are going up, because more people are getting tested. But just because the numbers go up doesn't mean those people are sick. I mean, definitely sick.
But I also know people who have died from it, and some have been elderly, some have been 40-year-old men who are extremely healthy. So that, and I think the biggest thing isn't necessarily the virus or what to do. I think the biggest disservice that has been done to us as people has been through the media coverage of it all. You don't even know who to trust. You don't know if it's this, source A, source B, or source C that's telling you the truth, because there's so much misinformation from everything. It's the media, it's social media, it's the politicians. And I mean, it's like at some point, somebody has to say, like, what are we doing here? We're not helping anybody. We're just hurting everyone. And it gets to the point where you get so sick of it, but God forbid you say anything, because then you're a revolutionary and you want to hurt people, or you're a racist, or you're this, or you're that. And I mean, it's very disturbing the way we are right now as a people. It's disgusting is what it is.
Well, it's drama. They feel that this is the hype and this is what people want to hear. I'll tell you what, working from home since March, and I'm still working from home, will be for the foreseeable future. I was, turning on first the local news and then Fox News after that for a few hours every day, and then kind of getting more focused into work, and would turn the news off. But I got to tell you, a couple of days ago, I turned it all off, and I haven't gone back, because all they said every 5 minutes is, this is the worst day of the pandemic yet. This is the worst day. The numbers are, I mean, I can't listen to that anymore. I can't do that. Every day can't be the worst day. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
So allegedly, Kelvin is telling us our facts are off, so we need to stop talking about this. So, all right, we're going to do what you say. So how about that COVID-19? Here's what I would say, and I don't know, Kelvin, maybe you're a fan of the show or not. I don't really know. But you know what? It's our show. If you don't like what we have to say, you can fuck off. Just saying. And I mean that, because everyone's entitled to an opinion, whether we think it's right or wrong, whether you think it's right or wrong. Fucking who cares, man? That's what I'm trying to say. There is no right or wrong answer here, because there's no fucking truth behind any of this, because you don't know who to believe.
And if they're pushing this narrative down our throat and trying to get us in line, they're coming for other stuff next. They're going to say,
yeah, 66. You're exactly right, Big Johnson. 66 was just saying, stick to guns. This crap will affect your guns. Yeah, you guys are on the same path. That's
exactly.
I'm sorry, I can't even hardly see the comments, but they're trying to condition us one way, and then when everybody falls in line, then they're going to be like, okay, give me your guns, give me this, give me that, give me this.
And you know what? Like, what else do you need to fucking see? You know what? I'll tell you what. Come up to New York State, and you're going to fucking see the shit show that we're about to see as a nation. Okay? There is no freedom in this state right now. There's none. We've got a governor who's so intoxicated with power, completely has the control of the legislative branch, the judicial branch, his own branch of the executive. There is no room for people to even breathe in New York State. So you know what? If you don't like what we have to say, tough. Because you know what? I'm sitting here in a state telling everyone out there who doesn't live in this shithole of New York State, and I'm telling you, this state has been the petri dish of the nation. Everything that we're experiencing, you're about to experience. And it's going to be tenfold, because it's the federal level of government that's going to dictate everything to us. So yes, maybe the mortality rates are low, but yes, cases are increasing. But the question is, and the question that has to be asked is, What resource right now is telling the truth? What resource can you 100% believe and rely on that they're telling you the facts about what this virus is? Because there's too many resources that are trying to mislead you in every other way. So yeah, if you can give me a resource that's 100% accurate and 100% trustworthy, you know what? I'll listen to you. I'll listen to your point of view. But you can't do that because who do you want me to listen to? MSNBC, Fox, CNN, the government? I mean, come on, man. Like really. So yes,
they're going to feed you what they want you to know.
Right. And people are dying from it. And I understand that. Like I said, I know people who have died from that. You know, at the same time, though, you also have to figure out what are we going to do as a country to try to get past this and try to fix it. And no one has answered that question. Not Donald Trump, not Joe Biden, and no one else has. So if you can provide me someone who wants to answer that question, I have no problem respecting your opinion and looking into it. But so far, there's been nothing. And you know what? I'm speaking again as a guy, as a parent, that this whole situation is messing with my children. And that's a problem for me because then I also have to worry about that if I go somewhere and God forbid I get sick or my parents get sick or somebody that I care about gets sick, they may die.
Right.
So yeah, just give me some facts. Tell me what I'm supposed to be looking for. First, you're telling me that it only affects the elderly and they're dropping dead. Then you see a bunch of kids dying. Then you see a bunch of middle-aged, healthy, young people dying. So then what's the truth? What is the truth? Oh, wait, this came from a bat?
Then you see a lot of people get it and they're perfectly fine, or they get it and they get a little sick and then they, get over it. So, but I just want to say one thing. I'm so glad about 6 months ago I took out stock in Charmin because I am killing it.
I'm telling you, man.
These people are freaking losing their mind. What is the thing with toilet paper? If you don't have,
I don't know. Maybe
Maybe
COVID-19 makes you shit more. I don't know. Or maybe the fear of COVID-19 makes you shit more.
Good
but
Lord,
we haven't seen it here. We've only seen the ammo shortage so far. There's plenty of toilet paper, so I may have to barter bullets for
people are losing their mind over toilet paper here, and I'm like, what in the hell?
Well, you know what? I think Floridian said it best when he said, "Let's put Ted Nugent in charge now."
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ted Nugent. That's a guy you can trust.
Rock and roll hoochie coo.
Let's see. Music was asking if I thought that masks work. I don't think masks necessarily work the way they're saying they do. They don't have the capacity to filter out the size of these particles. So, if you want to wear, an N95 mask and it's been sized properly, then it's probably much more effective than your underwear or, these stupid gaiters that people are wearing, which they don't do shit. But do I think they're super effective? Not really. I think they may be effective of keeping your germs off of someone else who might not be sick. But I don't think it's as effective as they make it sound. It's like everything else. They tell you something to make you feel better.
I have a question, and this is an honest question, and I want everyone's feedback. Okay, this stuff is hazardous. You don't want to touch people who have it. You don't want to touch your mask. You don't want to do all this. But yet, there's no biohazard waste baskets or any of this. People take their mask off, those paper ones, they throw them in the parking lot. They take their gloves off, they throw them in the parking lot. If it's true biohazard, you should have like biohazard waste area and, like for needles and things like that. There's none of that going on. And that's what I'm saying. Right. It's like, I mean, otherwise we would be dressed up in biohazard suits and walking around, to go get our mail and shit. And I'm just, man, I see people taking them off and chunking them in the parking lot. And I'm like, did you drop something? Hey, pick that up. Not dropping them, throwing them. But I mean, I don't know.
And then a lot of people wear the same mask for days, weeks, months, whatever. Exact same mask. God, that's just disgusting. I mean, at what point does it become its own petri dish?
Yes, exactly. And they're touching it, and then they're touching the apples, and they're touching the canned goods, and then they're touching their mouth. Oh yeah, and that's the same one they wipe your ass with, and now they're wearing it on their face.
Yep. Cell phones, wallets. You run your debit card through a machine. Next thing you know, that machine has your finger on it, which somebody else's finger was on it. Yeah, I mean, Jesus, you can't even. You can't even go up to random strangers and grope them anymore. It's just so bad. It's just so bad right now.
And Biden can't smell them anymore.
I know. I want to go back to the old days where you could just grab someone's ass and not worry about it. But now you got to worry about it. So Damn it, COVID-19,
Yeah.
you did it again.
I think it's just hey, we're training you this way, and there's more to come on 99% of this shit.
Yeah.
So
We spent a lot of time talking about COVID-19.
Yep.
So I will say, I will apologize to the person, Kelvin, that I said to fuck off. I don't like to say that to people, but at the same time, this is why we're here to discuss things. It's not to be told, hey, you shouldn't discuss it, you don't know anything. So if you know everything, tell us, teach us, let us learn. But it's still probably not going to change our opinion. I'll be honest with you.
No censorship.
Subway during rush hour. There is no rush hour in New York City because everybody moved.
Yeah.
There's something like close to, I think, like 25,000 apartments that are completely vacant in New York City right now. No, everybody moved out. Everybody's gone. They either moved up they either moved up to my area or into different states. The city
Or to
is
Texas, and they can piss off.
The city, it's totally lost. I mean, it's just an embarrassment. And you got the fucking idiot de Blasio down there who, I mean, Jesus, he and himself should just disappear because he's just pathetic as a leader. And New York City is just crumbling, man. But it's been doing that for years. And eventually maybe there'll be a rebirth in the right way. I know Cuomo had his little stupid news conference today. And then for the first time I've ever seen it, the reporters were actually giving him a hard time. Like they were laying into him and he was getting pissed. Good. So I really hope that our state can eventually, turn, but it's going to be highly unlikely. Highly unlikely.
So, let me ask you, with that many vacancies, does that drive prices way down? Because New York is extremely expensive place to live.
The real estate bubble in New York City has always been high. I mean, you can't find anything. You could find a closet and make that into an apartment and charge somebody like $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
What happened is that the prices went down in New York City because there's so many vacancies, but then outside the city, all the prices went through the roof. Like, I just moved into a new house and it just happened that when all this was going on, I put my house up for sale. I sold my house in a week. So that's why I had to live in a hotel for 2 months. So my house went like that and I got full asking price. And I definitely didn't pay what I got for it because I paid a lot less. And then the house I built is a beautiful home, it's a beautiful property, but that couldn't have been done without COVID. So it's weird because the COVID-19 thing is like a double-edged sword. Some aspects it's horrible and other aspects, well, not so bad. Yeah. But you see the prices on homes in my area now, they're friggin' ridiculous.
Everywhere.
These pieces of shit houses for crazy prices, but it's a shame. I think a lot of the New Yorkers are moving to other parts of the world and just be careful because there are a lot of liberal bastards who are going to ruin your state because they don't get it. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. All right, so let's talk about the NRA. This is also, and again, this is weird because it actually affects New York. What a surprise! So, if you guys weren't aware, New York State was suing the NRA and investigating their supposed insurance scam. So, if you're not aware, you guys obviously are. You can buy insurance that protects you in case you shoot someone. Well, in New York State, you're not allowed to unless you're licensed to do so, which means you have to be, brought in front of New York State and it's all this other shit and do what they tell you to do. Well, the NRA never did that. So the NRA had been collecting a lot of money from a lot of people in New York State and basically running this insurance scam illegally. So it just so happens today that the NRA has agreed to the terms of the lawsuit as long as New York State stops investigating them. So, of course, I posted something like basically go fuck yourself, the NRA, because they sold us out again. And the reason why they did was because there's probably a lot of skeletons in that closet they don't want coming out. And I don't think anybody's surprised by that. Nobody should be surprised.
I'm sure it did.
Yep.
Pay the man.
Yep. So they can't sell insurance for 5 years in New York State. And then if they want to, they have to reapply and they have to go through the whole process, but there's no guarantee they'll be granted a license. So that's where it stands right now.
Jeez.
All right. Well, let's talk about something more positive than this. This is becoming like a Debbie Downer. Let's talk about something fun.
Pete was asking you, how do you like that 1911?
Well, it's interesting. We were talking about that before. So I want to show it on camera. Will I get banned if I show a gun on camera?
I don't know. What do you do with that? Why do they care?
I don't know. And who's checking? That's my question.
I don't know.
Well, All right. So anyway, I did shoot this 1911 right here. That was the Springfield Armory. That's the Triple C, all FDE. It's very nice, but I just, whatever it is, I just can't seem to find that connection with a 1911. It shoots great. I love the trigger. It's great. It's a great handgun. They built it very nicely, but I don't know. I think it really boils down to my support hand. I can't find a comfortable place for my support hand on a 1911. And I've asked in videos for people to tell me where the hell I stick it. Not up my ass, boys. But my question is, where does that support hand really go to get a good, comfortable grip on that handgun? And I can't seem to just either figure it out or it doesn't feel right.
Why are you gripping it any different than you would a regular gun?
Well, that's just it. I'm not, but it doesn't seem like there's any real good point to throw my thumb on. And I feel like when I shoot the gun, it just flops around. Like I just can't seem to bite into anything to really be able to control it.
Well, if you want, you could cut a little piece of, the little sticky, sandpaper grip. You could stick it where you want, and then you can peel it off later. But mine, I just, press into the side. And it works great. I don't know. I'm just different, but I've shot them, for a long time too. You're fairly newer to them.
Though I'm sitting here, so I've got the Ronin in front of me, and I'm
all right, you should show that one.
Nope. Anyway, I don't want to get you.
That's it, guy. It's been nice knowing you. Thanks, guys.
I know, right? Wait, just the tip. I'm sitting here and just applying my normal grip. The one thing, and I see exactly what you're saying, 17, the thumb, for me, I ride it's touching the bottom of the slide, but it's on the frame and it's just a small amount of real estate, but it's enough, barely.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I've done to try to correct it, I guess is a good way of saying it, is I've actually shortened my grip a little bit. I'm not spreading that support hand too far forward. So I I almost like a revolver type of grip, but it doesn't feel right. So I think maybe it's just the lack of familiarity with the type of platform a 1911 is. So maybe I just need to work on it, and maybe then I'll say, wow, this is great. I love it. But it's a good gun. It's a good gun. They did everything right on this one.
That fast back, so to speak. Those are really good in the hand.
Yeah. It's a nice gun, and it's just the only thing in 9 rounds. That's the only downside.
Yeah,
9 rounds of 9mm.
True story.
So, but
unless you
nice.
get the double stack.
Yeah. I could do that. Have to sell a kidney for that, but definitely manage it at some point. I was close, man. I was close.
You should pick up one of those Stees. Excuse me. Staccato.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. It's either that or I had enough money to get an STI or a PPQ Q4 steel frame. So I was all set on getting the Q4 steel frame because I really do like that gun. And like I said, I like the PPQs. Sure. But then, we moved into the house, had a couple additional costs that I didn't account for. So that went to $1,200. So, yeah.
Well, I will tell you, I've still got the Q5 steel frame and several STIs. Staccato. I need to stop saying STI. I would probably opt for the STI Staccato, even though the Walther is wonderful. I love the gun. It's a collection gun, but the STIs, in terms of shootability, they are tough to beat, man. They are tough to beat.
Yeah, maybe one day. When I sell the Archon, maybe I'll pick it up. So
next week.
No, I'm not selling that. I still have all my PO1s, man. I told you I never sell them. And
like Keenan said, 45 is God's gun. Yep, 45 is God's caliber. That's for sure. Two world wars.
That's right. 45s are fun to shoot. They are pretty fun to shoot.
They are.
There's something about those.
Tina has a question. What do we think about Parlor?
I don't.
Well, I just joined today, and I have no idea what I'm doing on that damn thing. I have no idea. I can't, I go on the app, and I don't see anything. I just see the last stupid thing that I posted, but I don't see anything else. I don't know. Is there a feed? What am I looking at?
Feed. You just got to figure it out, but there's a feed.
Well, I haven't figured it out. But
I follow. If you don't follow anybody, it won't show. It'll only show you the people that you follow usually.
Gotcha. Yeah, I keep getting people following, but I have no idea what the hell to do here.
Yeah,
So I'm
I've got
following Texican. He just followed me, so I'm going to follow him back.
I
So,
got followers, but it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it'll take off. Who knows? But they do let you say what you want to say. I've said stuff and I hadn't gotten kicked off. That's why I don't do Twitter. I have a Twitter account, but I haven't done it in years because I would put something up there and they would censor it. So I quit doing it.
Yeah. I was never really a big fan. I mean, I've got a KS account for Twitter somewhere, probably, unless it's been hacked. Who knows? Who cares? So
yes, you're that important. It has been hacked, sir.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about the FK Bruno that's being brought up again? Warren's talking about it.
It does not inspire me at all.
I think the round's pretty damn cool. 100 meter round to take down an animal or a person. That's pretty badass. But I just don't. I know now the newer ones come with, you can get them with a 9mm or the 10mm conversion. I think that's pretty cool. But then your sights are going to be really wanky for, if it's set up for the 7.5 versus a 9mm. So you're definitely going to have to account for that. But it's a pretty big old gun. But I don't know. It's cool, but I don't think I would ever buy one.
Yeah. Not for me.
Yeah.
What you reading there, 17?
Work shit. Never ends. It never ends. I can't escape it,
He's reading
That's
the directions on how to put on underwear.
Yeah. Do I put one leg in or two?
Yeah,
right.
So, to the back.
Yeah, I mean, I get these stupid texts like every fucking minute of the day, and I feel like taking my phone and throwing it against the wall sometimes. But duty calls, guys. Duty calls.
Hey, I got to test something.
What's that?
COVID?
Oh, a 5-inch piece of plastic. What is that?
It's this.
You tested a sticker? Sweet.
Nice.
I hate stickers, but no,
And a
the
patch.
FN 5-inch slide, their new full-blown slide. So pretty cool.
Right.
It's a beast. It's a big boy.
Cool.
So I got a question for you guys. So I haven't heard anything from Caracol in about 3 months. Should I email him back and say, can I just get a piece of paper saying you have the gun so I can remove it from my license? Or should I hound him and say, dude, where's the gun?
I think
Which one should I do?
I think you should hound him and say, I want my freaking money back. Send me my check.
I got my money back. I did get my money back.
Oh, okay. Then he's done with you. So
I would just say, hey, I just want the letter so I can get this off my license. That's a legal thing.
have a nice day.
Yeah.
There's an obligation for that, and then we're done.
Yeah.
What a bummer, man. Such a bummer. That's too bad.
Well, it's like waiting for paint to dry with them, apparently.
Joshua Brackey saying 17 KS, and we'll address Big Johnson with this too. When you have so many guns in rotation, how do you best account for shifts in point of impact? Do you just remember how one gun shoots over another? That's a good question. That's a very good question. What would your answer be?
It's actually really easy for me.
Okay, tell us.
What's the answer?
They all have dots.
That is a good point.
Good point.
So you don't have to worry about POI. I mean, wherever that dot is, that's where that bullet's going.
So long as the dot's accurate, then you're good.
Well, if you set them, I haven't had one that I've set. I haven't had one back off or lose. And I mean, I've got videos where I'm shooting them and banging them on the table and shooting them and banging them on the table because I'm trying to get them to mess up. And I have not had one. Now I haven't physically thrown them on the ground and bounced them off walls and stuff because I'm not going to do that. But for the basic, rolling around, I'm trying to create something where it would mess it up, shift. And I haven't had any of them shift. So I'll bang it and, on the table and shoot it and it goes right where I want it. So you don't have to account for, height over bore and all the weird stuff. Now, if you're shooting something super up close, but as far as like a human, you might hit them here or you might hit them here. So,
right.
If they're up close, but so that is a plus.
So KS, what is your, how do you do it?
Well, first practice, right? Practice with your carry guns, and a lot of repetition there. But I have never noticed that dramatic of a difference going from one gun to the other. I've noticed a difference. Don't get me wrong. There is absolutely a difference. There's a difference just based upon how the sights are set up or how the trigger pulls or your grip and how it lands on the gun and everything. So I'm not trying to kid anyone, but not so dramatic that we're going from good quality hit to miss or scratch or flesh wound. Not at all. So I just don't worry about it that much. Either I'm not good enough to notice, or I'm good enough to at least put the rounds on target where I want them. Not in a neat little, you guys know, it's not one of these things, but a nice little pack of bullets, midsection where I want it.
Yep. And I agree with that too. I mean, you're not going to, if you're shooting, look or pointing straight ahead and the bullet shoots, 15 feet high or 15 feet low, then you have to worry. But I don't think there's a significant difference necessarily. But also when you look at your carries and the primary carry, like for example, I haven't even carried the SIGs. Like I love the SIGs that I have, but I haven't even carried them. The 920 is basically a Glock. The M&P is, well, it's an M&P. I mean, it shoots fairly accurate without really any adjustment needed. So, I tend to kind of drift to guns that I'm very comfortable with shooting. And like you said, there's not really that much of or significance of a difference of feet. Maybe we're talking inches, but maybe not feet. So
if you're talking 6 o'clock hold versus point of aim, point of impact, I mean, you're talking, if you're going for good chest shots quick, you're going to be fine unless you're going for a far distance shot. Then that's where.
Here's another thing. I recommend if somebody is really getting that nitty gritty about it, which is perfectly fine. I don't think it's a bad question at all. Take the guns you're considering or talking about, bench rest them, send the target out, to whatever, 10 yards or something like that, or whatever distance, maximum distance that you consider good self-defense distance, and try them out, test them. See, put those sights on the exact same spot, test them out, and see if there's that much of a difference. Because I think it really is going to measure in inches. What are you laughing at?
I'll pull it up here in a second. Some of the questions, man. So anyway, thanks, ND Irish. I thought I was much more important than I apparently am. So, but you're 100% right. I don't look, just because I'm looking at my phone doesn't mean I'm actually answering anybody. So I agree with that. I'm not that important, trust me. And as long as they just pay my salary, I'm happy and I'm going to go about my life. So no, I'm not that important. I understand that. But here's an interesting question, gentlemen. And this might be the last one of the night. So let's see. Just wondering, I'd be going to a satanic church here in a red state, and I still get hate for that. I thought we were not supposed to judge based on religious choices either. So, yeah.
Chew on that one for a minute.
I'd just say you do you, boo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess as long as you're not sacrificing young babies, you love Satan, God bless you. Or Satan bless you, whatever you say. You know what? I don't care.
As long as you're not,
here's round two. Wait, we've got round two, fellas. I'm not sure why he keeps saying Jason. I also get a ton of hate because my girlfriend was born a man. I thought we don't judge people based on it. Okay, well, hey, whatever floats your boat, bro. We're not here to judge you.
Does she put non-binary? That's what I want to know. You guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but the 4473 has changed, and now there's a non-binary choice there. So,
yes, there is.
You can be a tweener. It's all good.
Yeah. That's right. It's all about the love, man. That's all it's about.
We get them all.
So we've got a couple of minutes. We got like a minute left. So if you guys would like to end off with a statement or proclamation of your love for Satan, go ahead. Let's hear what you have to say.
I'd like to start with Jason. So what is that all about? Anyway, no, hey, listen, man. Thanks for having me on again. Good to see everybody. Glad everybody is out there and typing away. It's a lot of fun to catch up. So hope to do it again soon.
Yeah. I definitely appreciate everyone coming on and listening to us on the Wednesdays. Glad to have KS back. It's always a good time when us three can be together. And I've got the 509 video dropping Friday morning. So if you want to check it out, the 5-inch slide, definitely something you would want to watch, but I won't give it away. But anyway, always a pleasure to be on, and everyone be safe and carry on.
All right, guys. I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. It's fun when, like Big John said, all three of us are on here. It definitely devolves into some interesting content. At least I think so. I'm pretty sure I insulted at least 3 people in the chat tonight, so that's always a winner for me. And Jesus is my savior. So just want to end on that one. So I hope you guys are all safe out there. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, which is coming up soon. And hopefully this COVID-19 nightmare will be over and we can all live happily ever after with lots of bullets and lots of guns and our freedoms intact. So until we meet again next week, gentlemen, I say good night.
Night.
Carry on, everyone.